Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Look, Wrestling 101, classes in session. Pay attention to the teachings, that's from Andrew and Derek. I mean, these guys making a killing with no competition. Dynamic duo better than the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys. Everybody make some noise, mess with them, you get destroyed. They cannot be beat, take a seat. Watch them do they thing on the MIC. Face defeat, they cannot be seen like JC. Oh my goodness, it's a killing spree.
Hey guys, this is Frankie Pitts, wrestling photographer. You're listening to Wrestling IQ 101. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, this is Andrew from Wrestling IQ 101. When I'm not hosting our podcast, I'm usually at collarandelbowbrand.com. That's right, Collar and Elbow is the only place that combines wrestling with street attire. And I know what you're thinking, I want to look fashionable too, and I also want to save 10%. So head over to collarandelbowbrand.com and use the promo code WIQ101 and look fashionable and save some money. And now, on with the show. Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of Wrestling IQ 101. I'm Andrew, and Wrestling IQ 101 can be followed on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram using the @Wrestling IQ 101. Also, you can subscribe to right here on YouTube, or you can follow us on the B Plus Player Network, or you can search Wrestling IQ 101 to find our own page on iTunes. And today, I'm sitting with the Daredevil himself, Dave Dahl, man. How's it going?
It's going good, man. It's going good.
Awesome to hear, man. I'm happy to see you doing some big things in wrestling. Before we get started, man, who is Dave Dahl, and why should people be noticing you?
I'm really just a normal dude. I started off as a fan, decided to get into it when I couldn't amateurly wrestle anymore, and right now I'm on a hot streak with what I'm doing and having. It's hard to say should you come see me, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different aspects depending on which character I have to play, whether I'm the good version of me or the evil version of me. Each one's different, and each one is entertaining. So you never know where I'm going and what one I'm going to be. It's a crapshoot, just like everybody in the business. You could be heel in this town and then be face 3 towns over. So, I like to blend the amateur style with the theatrics of professional wrestling and the entertainment value.
Mm-hmm.
And I do it okay. I'm not the greatest thing in the world, but I try.
Hey, man. Yeah, man, you're doing a great job. And, let me ask you, who was Hot Shot, and how did that evolve to where you are now?
Hot Shot?
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Hot Shot was an old nickname I used a long time ago.
Uh-huh.
And went from I started as Hot Shot, went to Playboy, went to Mr. Righteousness, then from Mr. Righteousness went to Daredevil.
Yeah.
So Hot Shot was just something I came up with just randomly, just was like, I'm going to be this cocky dude. And basically, I'm still a version of that. I just, when I'm a bad guy, but I don't call myself that anymore.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, right? And also, around that time, too, you were hanging out with, our fans know him as Sonny Boy, but you know him as Mustafa, right?
Mustafa Aziz?
Yeah, Aziz, yeah.
Yeah, WXW. We were the League of Nations, something like that. We had a feud with Kobe, and where I almost got my head taken off with a chain.
Wow.
And I was coming out with an Irish flag. Yeah. Those weren't my best days. I'm definitely a lot better now than I was then. So I remember those, but they're vague now. With everything I've been doing lately,
Sure.
It's hard to remember everything.
Sure. Yeah, and it's kind of awesome because, you've grown so much from there, and we can see that. But now you're part of CZW, right?
Oh, I'm on the dojo program.
Yeah.
So, I did make a main roster debut, if you want to call it, for the Lyle show.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've known Lyle since I started. He's easily one of my favorite people ever. Easily taking the best pictures of me ever. and always had a pleasure just talking to him, even outside of wrestling. But really, I'm just part of the dojo program, trying to work my way up. 8 years later, and I'm still trying to work my way up. Still show up to places and help out and try to earn spots. You never stop learning. You never stop paying dues. You just got to keep doing it. And it's starting to pay off. And I thank DJ a lot for letting me come in and, stay Chris doing dojo program and let me apply what, the feedback he gives me along with Jimmy Rave and Joe Gacy. That stuff helps a lot when you're trying to keep moving up and doing bigger and better things.
Sure, it's a great place to be, and you just mentioned a fallen friend of yours. It wasn't that long ago where people were paying tribute to him, Lyle, at his own memorial show. I mean, what did that night mean to you?
To me, it meant everything. His mom was in the crowd, front row, and only a few people, it was kind of sad, only a few people actually went up to her and said thank you for, allowing us to have Lyle. And as much time as she spent going and photographing, wrestling and away from her and the rest of his family, even though he wasn't a wrestler, he spent just as much time traveling and taking pictures that we do going and wrestling on these shows. Some guys won't travel more than 30 minutes unless they're actually booked. But Lyle, he would show up whether he was asked to take pictures or not.
Mm-hmm.
If he knew guys on the show, he was there to make sure they got the best pictures they could. So, he was a real godsend.
Yeah, I wish I had a chance to meet him, but we met in passing a couple times. But yeah, what a tragic situation, and it's nice to see that you guys made light of it and tried to do something to benefit the family, and hopefully that didn't go unnoticed.
So much so that Drew Gulak got on camera and got yelled at.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that is great about wrestling in the community. When something bad happens like that, people usually band together, and that's cool to see Drew Gulak doing something like that for sure.
Yep.
You have the moniker Daredevil, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the most daring thing you've ever done?
In the ring or in life?
Either or.
Either or?
Yeah.
In the ring, I don't do the crash and burn style, and people take the Daredevil name literally.
Uh-huh.
That, I'm going to be some kind of evil Knievel. When in reality, it's actually more of, the Marvel superhero name.
Okay.
The vigilante that came in and beat the bad people because the people in the city couldn't do it themselves. It's kind of where I'm at with it, and when I changed my name, that was kind of the angle I was in when it happened. I was trying to get revenge on the people that hurt me, and when I dropped everything else and became this, that was the angle. I was the Daredevil, I was the vigilante coming in, the vigilante of professional wrestling, a little bit before Sting starts calling himself that, damn it. But, yeah, in the ring, I'll hit a moonsault. I can do a suicide dive. I haven't busted out in a match yet. I haven't really seen the need to.
Mm-hmm.
And I dare to be different. I have a different look than most people. I get printed, gear versus getting stuff that's sewn on. And people are like, oh, why don't you get the sewn on stuff? That's depth and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, well, hey, my gear doesn't smell because I can actually wash it in the washing machine. Sorry, guys. I like having the printed stuff. And then I don't have to worry about it popping off and having it re-sewn and redone all the time. I can just, it doesn't go anywhere. It's always going to be there.
Yeah. Nice and steady,
but
right?
In life, what was that?
Nice and steady and consistent, right?
Yeah. The company that makes my singlets, My House Sports Gear, which actually sponsor me, so shout out to them. They just gave me 2 singlets for something coming up, which I still can't announce yet.
Mm-hmm.
I debuted the one because it's red, white, and blue. On 9/11, it just felt right, and then I debuted the other one Saturday and Sunday night at Superstar Wrestling on Saturday and at Modern Vintage on Sunday. they hooked me up. They've given me more than I could have ever asked for, and I appreciate them to the fullest.
Mm. And you were going to say something about being a daredevil in life, right?
Being a daredevil in life, I mean, trying to balance this and having a family is rough, and you have to be a daredevil to try to do that. So I have a little girl, I have an 8-year-old stepson, and trying to balance everything like that is rough. It's hard. There's a lot of arguments, but you know, you gotta get through it and keep going if you want this, and that's what I've been doing.
Well, man, we're glad to see it's paying off, and you know, you mentioned the red, white, and blue single that you broke out on 9/11. You know, it's nice to see that you haven't forgotten our history, and it was only just it felt like just yesterday, but it was 18 years ago.
I was in 5th grade.
Yeah.
As a flag safety, and I didn't know any better.
Uh-huh.
And they lowered the flag to half-mast, and I snuck back out and raced the rest of the way up again.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they were not happy about that.
Well, you know, yeah, I mean, so going out and performing in front of a crowd on such a tough day and bringing smiles to your face, smile to their faces, must have been a warm feeling for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice surprise for everybody because I still wear the same tracksuit out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just orange and black, so they had no clue. And then when I take it off, someone happened to call me the American Daredevil, which was kind of funny, and that made me chuckle in the ring. So, you know.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice compliment being representing the home country here.
Well, but then you fast forward to Friday, I did a private show for Rowan University students,
mm-hmm.
and I called a kid Fat Weird Al.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day on Twitter, he was praising me for it. So I've never gotten praise for insulting somebody by the person I have insulted before.
Really?
Yeah, he posted on Twitter complimenting dog wrestling for Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators for the show they put on, and then specifically mentioned me, calling him Weird Fat Al, and how much of a compliment that was. So in reply, I retweeted, when a fan compliments your insult, but still Rowan sucks.
Really?
Yeah, so I had to put my own fun on it, but it was a cool thing. Like, you know, some fans that are in the crowd when a heel gives them stuff,
uh-huh.
they don't appreciate it or accept it, you know. And sometimes you're just clowning around. Like, I'll be honest, I'll break kayfabe. I literally for a second after I said it was like, crap, I shouldn't have said that. That's messed up.
Yeah.
But then I just kept going on saying Roman sucks and moving on to other people. But you know, for that split second, you're like, oh my, But hey, he had fun and he enjoyed it, and I'm sure because of that experience, now he will show up to other, you know, dog events and see everything, and you know.
I hope so, because dog's a great place for all wrestlers to get in the ring and do their thing. So dog
is a good place. But we actually have a show. I will get in trouble by Dr. Lawrence Ciconio if I call it a show. Sorry, an event this weekend in Little Egg Harbor on Saturday.
Yeah.
They're bringing in Tank Tolan. Matt Stryker will be there. Champion Breaker Morant. Tag champions Old School Empire, which is Vanity Picture and Patch, who will be taking on myself and Dylan Mesh. So.
Wow, yeah, so it's going to be a stacked card. You definitely don't want to miss that for sure. So Dave, I was going to ask you about I saw you went to the Stan Hansen and J.J. Dillon seminar. How was it learning from those two?
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And just simply amazing. I take a full advantage of any chance I can to learn from any of the legends. Just not this past weekend, but the weekend before, I spent actually most of the day at J.J. Dillon's house.
Really? Oh, wow.
Just chit-chatting with him and hanging out, and a promoter that I worked for asked me if I wanted to go with him and hang out with him, and I was like, darn right, let's go. Like, we went out and had lunch. It was a cool deal. Then I've also done seminars with Dean Malenko, and yeah, they may not get us in the ring and, show us stuff in there, but just listening to them talk and how they see the business and how they would do things, and how different it is now from when they started, and just picking up on some of that stuff and adjusting it to what you do. One of the best ones I've taken, too, is Simon Gotch, who asked in the ring, and he just goes, why do we lock up to begin a match? Everybody locks up to start a match. And no one really had an answer except for, that's what we're taught. He goes, well, why do you have to do what you're taught every time? Think of different ways to start a match. Think of different ways to do this. And ever since then, my way of thinking has just been different. It's always good to start off differently. And you can take a lot from seminars, and I encourage every young guy, old guy, hell, guys like Sean Donovan, who's been around for a long time, took that Stan Hansen seminar as well.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing when you see somebody like Sean Donovan, like you said. He's been around for so long, but he's so smart. To see him even going and getting, learning a new trick, so that's kind of cool, man. And I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of people should be taking advantage of these stories too, right?
Of course, everybody should. I mean, you see Danny Cage post about this all the time, actually. Bring up Danny. I love Danny. He'll post it all the time, like, oh, you have money to go buy a video game, you have money to go out and eat, you have money to do this, do that, and do this, but you don't have money to invest in yourself, to get gear, that looks, that makes you look like a wrestler, or to get a gym membership, or to go to seminars and learn from legends like this. And he's right. There was times in my early career where I was like, I can either, go out to eat, or I can go to this show over here and pay a few dollars in tolls and maybe get a spot or maybe do something, and I would choose to stay home and eat. Instead, they'd be like, well, I can always eat there or get something in the snack stand. It might be cheaper than ordering pizza. So, it all depends on how you look at everything.
Yeah, you always get what you put into it in return. It might not always be what you wanted, but you always get some payback. And I'm glad to see that you're doing the right steps to advance, and that's kind of cool, man. That's kind of cool that you that this is you're on the right path. I feel like you're gonna do well. So
I'm trying. I'm really trying. I mean, my calendar for the rest of the year is pretty much Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'm ecstatic about it. Like, some guys are like, oh, that's a lot of wrestling. You know what? I've wrestled 2-3 matches those days if I have to. I don't care. Give me 9 matches in the weekend. I'm good. Monday might not like me, but hey, I'm good. Let's go.
Monday doesn't like anybody, so I can see that.
Not at all. I mean, this weekend I did 4 matches.
Yeah.
And Monday hated me, so.
Yeah, Monday's not kind to everybody, but I could see it not being especially kind to you if you had 9 matches and you, like you just said, 4. Oh man, that must have hurt.
Yeah, but the one was just a bunch of screwy around stuff. Like, sometimes you get to have fun. I mean, we had a guy get launched off a hand truck and give me a DDT on the floor. Just stupid things like that sometimes would make it worth it.
Yeah, sounds like it. Who's Dave outside of the ring? What do you like to do? What are some of your interests that people may not know about you?
Well, I'm a big video game guy.
Okay.
Really looking forward to a game that's in production. It's an independent game with different wrestling legends and some of the younger guys and stuff, called Retromania from Retrosoft Studios. They were actually just at the show I was on last night, and I got to play it a little bit. It's awesome. It's almost like WWE All-Stars mixed with Fire Pro Wrestling.
Okay.
The moves are a little bit bigger than they should be, but it's cool and it's fun. It has a great feel to it, and it was fun to play. So I do that. I collect comics. The one I get made fun of a lot for is I love musicals. I will watch a musical any time of the day.
Really?
Let's see, what else? I mean, obviously I hang out with my daughter and my stepson, and, you know, chill and relax and try to enjoy everything I'm doing and not be sore on Mondays. You know, that would be nice, but it's not possible.
So what's the best musical out there that you could give us?
The best what?
Musical.
Musical?
Yeah.
Ooh, you put me on the spot, because I like so many. It depends on what genre you're looking for. Like, Rent is amazing. The Newsies, I love the Newsies. And then you have stuff like that was made for TV, like Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. Like, this comedic genius, you know, it's Neil Patrick Harris trying to be this evil supervillain, and he just fails miserably the whole movie, and it's just great.
Oh, man.
I definitely recommend everybody seeing that at least once. It is so stupid, it is funny.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, that's cool that you like musicals, man. That's awesome. That I don't think people should be making fun of you about that. I mean, it's cool.
If people just like to have fun with it, you know, it's just what they do.
Sure. You know, growing up, who were some of your favorite wrestlers growing up?
Obviously, you know, I was born in '90, so I was watching wrestling at the height of the Attitude Era. So you have Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Stone Cold, Owen Hart, British Bulldog, you know, all those guys. But the first WrestleMania I ever saw was WrestleMania 7, because my uncle had taped it. So eventually, I think it was like, I was probably 4 or 5, maybe probably 4 when I first watched that WrestleMania. And my favorite match of the whole show was the Rockers versus Ming and Barbarian. And it's still my favorite WrestleMania match, right up there with Shawn and Kurt at 21. But, like, you got to see two giant monsters face these two young, quick kids, and they just made everything make sense and believable. It was just very well put together. And, like, I love that match. I just really love that match.
Yeah, it's a great match. I'm surprised you didn't say wrestling superstar Virgil.
Why would I say Virgil?
Because he's obviously the greatest of all time.
It's sitting alone at a merch table?
Yeah, but he's also the $1 million champion.
Did he actually win it, or did he just carry it around for DiBiase?
No, he won it. Did he? Yeah, he won it.
You never remember, because he was always carrying it around, too.
Yeah. But it's funny, because that's my favorite wrestler, and we always joke about it on the show.
No, Virgil was actually a very good wrestler. I'm just playing around. Like, I have no disrespect to him at all. He was very good at what he did and how he did it. Like,
oh yeah, I love him.
He had to do with DiBiase was great. But if you had to pick your favorite $1 million champion, who would it be?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be Virgil, obviously.
You pick Virgil?
Yeah, I pick Virgil. He's the GOAT. Yeah,
so I picked DiBiase Jr.
You picked Ted? Oh yeah, Ted was great too. They're all pretty good, you know.
When he came out with doing the $1 Million Dream and then turned it into like the Russian leg sweep with it, I was like, that's genius. You're still doing exactly what your dad did, but then you add your own little twist on it.
Yeah,
and I tell this to people all the time, like some of the younger guys, like, you know, any Joe Schmo can take a great painting by a great artist and trace it and make it look perfect. But it takes an even greater, amazing artist to take a great piece of artwork and make it their own without making it unrecognizable. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You could, like, I could take the Rock Bottom and do it just like the Rock did. But why is that special? But maybe I add an extra little nuance to it, and then also it's a little bit different. There you go. I don't do the Rock Bottom. It's just the first move that popped in my head.
No, it's pretty. No, that's a good example, for sure. You know, and like you said, man, you know, it's talent when you can take something and make it your own, for sure. You've been in the ring with so many great people. You know, just to name a few, I noticed you've been in the ring with Pat Shamrock, you know, Vinny Cenzo, Jay the Key Evans, Kurt Bale, Corey Dillinger. You know, these guys are in the same boat. You know, they're killing it every weekend. They're killing it in every match that they do. So to be in the mix with those guys is pretty good company. You know, who's somebody that you haven't, you know, locked up with that you're just eyeing right now?
That I want to just wrestle one-on-one.
Wrestle one-on-one, tag team. I mean, who are you eyeing up? Who's some of the talent out there that, you know, you think you match up well with?
Well, I pestered him for a good few weeks on Twitter. I was pestering the shit out of Sammy Callahan because I'm a moron and want to get my ass whooped, I guess. But he also is one of my original trainers. So there is a story behind it, and he had like 4 months while I was training that he just beat the crap out of me as security. And I would like some retribution for that. But, I mean, that's hard to happen because he's signed with Impact, and it makes it all difficult. But if I had to pick some of the young guys that are where I'm at, Dojo Wars, or, you know, some of the smaller shows I'm on, I finally got to lock up with Tyler Ash this past weekend. I've known him since he started. That was fun. We had a decent match to start off the show on Saturday. I would love to wrestle Jay one-on-one because it was a 3-way with me and him and Kurt Bale, so that would be awesome. I would get in there with Jordan Oliver. That would be fun, and he has a completely different style than I do, and it'd be kind of cool to see what we could come up with to make it work. I've wrestled guys like Dave Sky. Dave Sky is amazing, and we went out there and had a great match. Tristan Ty would be one I would want to get on, or Akuru Kwan, whatever you want to call him. He's signed with MLW, part of Contra. So many guys.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I'll get in the ring with anybody. I don't care. You know, you could be a guy that just started yesterday to a guy that's been around for 30 years. I don't care. You know, I'm going to go out there and do the best that I can to entertain everybody and make everybody go home happy. I've never even heard of the guy that I'm wrestling on October 6th, and this is no slight to him. I didn't hear of him until the company asked me to come up and wrestle him. So, October 6th, I headed up to Rhode Island to wrestle the American Wrestling League American Champion, the franchise Brian Sire, and for the title. So that should be a fun little trip up. My first trip up that way, actually, to wrestle. And, you know, I got some other trips lined up with, like, Georgia and Illinois, and see who I can get in the ring there. But right now there's these 2 kids that got themselves here from Chile that are actually killing it everywhere. And they've been coming and doing dojos. I would get in the ring with them. They're the Sud-American Sensations. I believe that's how it's pronounced. But yeah, they paid their own dime. They come out here from Chile because I was talking to them yesterday. There's not many opportunities in Chile apparently, so they're just trying to, you know, make their own opportunities. And so far it's working.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's kind of cool. You gotta respect something like that coming from a different country and you know, living that American dream to pursue what they love. So yeah, good for those guys.
Yeah, right now we have Key Min, who wrestles the Dojo War program. He's in Germany, along with Layla Hirsch.
Sure.
You know, and they both just made their Germany debuts this past week. So, like, you know, there's opportunities out there. You just gotta find a way to make them. Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be too long until you're wrestling in Germany or overseas.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I am definitely working on it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'm hoping at the latest by the next fall, I will get there.
Well,
even if it's just for the training stuff, and they don't give me a match, at least I'll be able to be like, hey, well, at least I trained over there.
Yeah.
But, you know.
You could be a bad guy. You could be the American Daredevil. And people will hate you.
I'm pretty sure they will boo me anyway, because dark hair, blue eyes doesn't really go well over there anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got it in if you want to be a bad guy over there, so...
Yeah, but I'm keeping my full beard. No, that's not happening.
Oh, good to hear.
That's going a little too far.
Yeah. Oh, wow. you know, you're doing the grinds, you're doing the right stuff. You know, there's a lot of legends that still get in the ring and still get active. There's still wrestlers from WWE and Impact that are getting released all the time.
Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. is hitting RKO's right now. I think he's going to be 69 in November.
Wow, that's amazing. It really is. Who are some?
Jimmy Hart still helps set up the ring and break it down if he has to.
Really, that's yeah. I mean, I saw Samu do that. That was pretty impressive. Because he's a real legend too, and his passion for wrestling, you could see it.
I love Sam. Sam is one of the nicest, sweetest guys you can ever meet.
Yeah, he really is. He really is a cool dude. But yeah, I mean, so you're pretty current with all the superstars that are coming and going. Who are some of the big names that you're looking at, that you're eyeing, and that, you know, you alluded to Sami Callihan, but there might be a legend here or there that you might want to square off against, right?
Well, I don't know how possible it is, but I mean, if I could get Kurt Angle in the ring, that would be amazing.
Wow, Kurt Angle.
There was talks about it back in 2013 when there was a movie filming for Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies. And at the time, I was riding around with Thomas Rodman at the BWO, and we were going down to West Virginia like every other weekend. And because I couldn't get off of the regular job I worked at the time, I couldn't spend a week down there filming, so I didn't get a chance to do it as filler footage. It wouldn't have been like a real match or anything. It would have just been like random little spots, but you know what? I would have been in the ring with Kurt, and that would have been awesome. So Kurt is definitely one. Obviously, Sammy. Joe Gacy is another one I would love to get in the ring and actually have a match with, not just train with. Guys like, trying to remember his name. Colby Carino would be another one that he's awesome. I was talking with him. The Ugly Ducklings, another great team I would get in there with my partner.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Do you prefer tag team over singles?
Depends on what mood I'm in that day.
Okay.
I mean, tag's a little bit easier on your body. You're not taking everything. You're not giving everything. You have somebody else to rely on. So your mentality and stuff has to change in your matches. But then singles, you know, it's one-on-one. I mean, that was one of the things I always loved about amateur wrestling. It was a team sport with being an individual sport at the same time. You know, you went out there, and depending on your performance on the mat, like if you were told you needed to get a pin and you didn't get a pin, your team was down. But you know, you went out there and you got a pin, your team's up now, and then you also got a pin on your record. So there's very few sports that are individual and team at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I can really only think of like 2 others, 3 others: swimming, tennis, and wrestling. Yeah, that's it. I think those are the only 3 I can think of at this moment.
Yeah, you know, and yeah, the team mentality is just important. And that's kind of cool that you're pretty honest about that. I think a lot of people, you know, that's awesome that you, depending on your mood, is that's kind of cool, man. And it's kind of cool that you still have the passion for singles and tag team career.
I mean, me and Dylan Mesh just started teaming other places than Dog. Like, we kind of got thrown together at Dog, and I liked the feel we had, and I was like, hey, I want to stick with this here. And then we were both like, hey, let's try taking it some other places. And we've taken it a couple other places, and we're trying to take it a little bit more. You know, but, you know, I keep getting single stuff too, so, like, we got to just mesh our schedules.
Yeah, it's awesome to see, man. It's awesome that it's pretty cool that you can adapt to both on the fly, depending on where you are, too. You know, let me ask you this. Where can people get you on social media if they want to connect with Dave Dahl?
So social media, Facebook, obviously just search Dave Dahl. You'll see a picture of me in my jacket facing the wrong way because, you know, I wanted to show off my jacket. If you go to Instagram, you can go to Dave_Dahl_19. That is me. And then if you go to Twitter, it's basically the same thing but a little different. It's DD_Dave_Dahl_19. So, yeah, that's my social medias. I have a YouTube page, Daredevil Dave Dahl. You can search that if you want. There's some matches and stuff up there. I got to put some new stuff up and some more promos and all that fun stuff. But, yeah, my social media has been pretty active lately. I really wasn't using it for a while, then I'm like, I probably should start using that because it seems like everybody looks at it now.
Well, yeah, man, we're glad that you're active, and now the fans can kind of see where you are when they want to see you, interact with you. So, yeah, somebody might be tweeting you again if you keep insulting people.
Yeah.
Dave, thanks so much for taking out the time and chatting with us here at Wrestling IQ 101.
I appreciate you guys having me. I mean, I talked with you the first time I was at Mountain Vintage, and I was like, yeah, that was cool of you. I want to do an actual one, so I'm glad we finally got to do it.
Yeah, me too, man. And yeah, and then, so everyone check out Dave Dahl. I mean, he just said he's all over social media. He's all over the indie scene. You can see him at a show near you, hopefully. For us, this has been Wrestling IQ 101. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wrestling IQ 101. You can subscribe right here on YouTube. Check us out on the B Plus player across all platforms, or you can search Wrestling IQ 101 on iTunes, and you'll find our official iTunes page.